Well, I'll do another video and stuff, so... Gosh, it would be nice if I had, like, internet access, just saying what I need, and I could download, like, a very, very long video overnight or something like that, you know, but it's just, I don't have it. I work with what I got, though, so I'll just show everybody what's going on. Wait. Look at this. The sky is my friend. Oh no, I don't know what to say though. There's more about Mittilea. There was one story I told not that long ago on another video, I suppose, wherever it's out there. That here's my new sandals, here's my new socks. And I got the socks like yesterday or something. And one of them was there was a time where I was with I had my friend who was trying to remember what his name was. He was later like Paul Revere, you know, and I used to wait under the ship where Mittilea and you know, that particular day it seemed like all the washer girls were on that particular ship doing stuff. There was Theraresta and geez, who's the other one? I think I wrote her name down too, somewhere. And the other chick, yeah. Anyway, and we were they were working and stuff, and I was there at the and she was like, I talked to Mittilea, I think, and I think it was the other girl, not Theraresta, although I think I saw her some. It came by a little bit later and kind of looked over the edge. She was like, "What are you doing?" Oh, I'm talking to, you know, what's his name, whatever my name was at the time. I don't remember. And it was like, I'm talking to him, and she was like, "Oh, yeah, well, whatever. I gotta get back to work. Okay, well, see the two of you later." And she was just like, "Well, you know, when I get done, and if I got time, I'll do something. Otherwise, you might as well just go, you know." And I was like, "Okay, how about I just wait here?" And she was just like, "You do what you want, and if I get done, then I'll let you know." And so she like left, and then what's with this stuff? Anyway, she got to work. I thought maybe occasionally I could hear them. Sometimes I could hear them talking, and I like, you know. And I was like walking on the dock with the ship like kind of like right there, you know, real big, like one of these, you know, because it's 1600s. You know, it's one of them old-fashioned cargo ships or something. You know, they looked a little different than like than you see like in the pictures, though. Not so much the outside, but it was like, anyway, like especially on top, it looked really different. Anyway, so, yeah, anyway, so what I did was I was there waiting, and the Paul Revere fellow, you know, came by, and he was just sort of like, "Hey, what you doing?" I was like, "Well, I'm waiting for so-and-so to get up." And he was like, "Oh, she must be expecting her or something." And I was just like, "No, she's just in case she has time." And he was like, "Well, is that going to happen? I mean, is that realistic?" And, you know, because I was like, he was like, you know, and I was like, then I said, not necessarily, because usually when they're busy, like some in the afternoon, they're busy the whole afternoon, and in the evening, especially in the evening, they're too tired to do anything. And so he was just like, "Well, why are you like waiting here? Let's just go pal around. I mean, what are you doing here anyway? I mean, you know, come on. You know, they're not going to play with you, then they're not going to mess with you. Then, you know, that's, you just need to kind of go." And I was like, there's like a chance though that they could like do so. And he was just like, "I'm your friend, and we should be like palling around and stuff like that." And I was like, I know, I gotta wait here for them though, because if they don't, if she's like done, like let's say like now or in the next hour or so or whatever, you know, later in the afternoon, you know, I usually had to do time like that. You know, it was just sort of like, what if that happens? It was like, I'm here now. She's probably gonna be busy the rest of the day, and I was just like, I just can't. I mean, she's just, I don't know what to say. And he was like, I can tell that you would rather, you're the kind of fellow that would rather wait because at first he was kind of hurt. He was like, I'm your friend. I mean, aren't we friends? And he was just like, I can tell you're the kind of guy that would wait for a girl, for the chance just to meet with her than you would with being with me or any of your other friends. You got got a whole town full of friends now, then, and he was just like, that's actually, he started kind of walking away, and it was just sort of like, that's actually all right. He was like, that's actually all right, because, he was just like, that says something. You know what you want, and you wait for it, even if you don't get it. You just the waiting for it is like fun enough, rather than pal around with a bunch of, especially like fellas that you could pal around with. And I was just like, well, yeah, I mean, duh, she's there and there's a chance I can see her. I mean, what kind of logic is this? It's just like, he's just now figuring this out, and, I was actually, and then he was just like, okay, all right, I'm going to see it. This is actually kind of nice news. This is like a nice thing to know about you. And he went off and stuff. I actually remember when he like left, I looked at like the other ships and stuff, and I actually imagined that way more ships there, because there was about 2 or 3 spots that where there weren't ships. And I was just thinking, there's the docks should be full of like fellows just like me waiting for the girls and stuff, and like that. And I was just kind of like, gosh, that doesn't make much sense. We should all be like here waiting for the washer girls to get done. We should all be friends with them because they're the most interesting girls in town. And that's what of all the ones had been meeting with, they were really interesting. And and then I kind of thought, oh, wait a minute, they are friends with me, and I got this kind of exclusive sort of thing with them because I really like them, and I kind of lucked out, and maybe they just decided they only have like enough room for like one fellow in their life anyway, which I don't think we talked about at the time. I thought maybe later that was when it may have happened later when one of the girls said that. They were like, the only guy we can like hang out like this with, she was like, I was like down on the ground like there. She was like, you're the only guy we can hang out with like this. We can't necessarily do this with everybody. I think it was the darn if I can remember her name now. I've talked about it before. Kathy Bates girl. Yeah, what's her name? Anyway, the other girl there, Reese, I think was like here. She was sitting down or she was standing up. We were kind of like both. She was sort of doing something, and I was there with on the ground with Mittilea, and so she was just like, that's just fine. There's nothing wrong with it. She was like, is there anything wrong with that? And I was like, is there anything wrong with that? And I was like, I ain't got a problem with it. And I was just like, she was like, you don't got a problem with it, do you? And I was just like, no, because that's what I was saying. And she was like, that's right. That's what you were saying. And you don't have a problem with it. Alright, I guess I don't have a problem with it. I guess nobody has a problem with it, and I guess I don't have a problem with it. She was like, she'd get her dress out, a little skirt up, she'd kind of go, I gotta be careful about that, because I'm kind of fat. I'm the fattest one here. Splat, sat, spat, fat. What the hell was it? What was the name for that? It was like a swiggy swirl or something. You did this if a woman was like fat and she wanted to, if she didn't mind saying so. It was like they grabbed like the thigh and they'd kind of go, I'm sweel, you got swiggy or sweel here. I'm here and I'm here. There's just more of me here and here. Swiggy, swell. What was the word? Sweel. Shoot, I can't remember the word was. I know it was like fat. People didn't really say that. I think fat was like more of like a cooking term or something like that, where you took stuff and then you cooked it with fat, but it wasn't even like fat unless you like used it in like cooking. It was something like that, I think. Anyway, so that's one of the things that we did. And then there was another time where Paul Revere fellow came by. It may have been some of my other friends too. I'm not really sure. He was starting to hang out with them, my gang, that usually hung out down the street. And they were like over there at the harbor, and they kind of like sort of grabbed me and stuff. And Paul Revere fellow was like, well, maybe he wants to stay, and I just sort of kind of went along with the fellas, and we went over to from the ship, we went over to, it was like, so this is actually like going north. We went from the ship over to like, one place that we would hang out at, not that corner, but like the corner there, and like lady splits like way over here, and we went hanging out over there, and this is what I did. Let's see. Well, I don't know how to do it. Like, I don't know what's going to get captured. Probably not very much. Anyway, I was with them, and they were all kind of like here, and the corner was like there, and the ship was like over there, and it was sort of like, like right over there. And I kind of like, I'd go like this, I was taking like, I think at first big steps, and then I sort of go back to like where they were at, and I take other kind of sort of big steps a bit. And like that. They were like, why are you fidgeting? Like, why are you moving around? Like, one of them, like over here said so. I can't remember who. And they may have been fellas I didn't really know that well. Maybe. I think they were like my old gang, but I'm not sure. And I was like, oh, I'm just kind of, just sort of antsy and stuff. And I want to look at the different bricks. You see, there's like bricks and they're kind of interesting and stuff. And it was like, oh, okay, well, whatever. So the guy takes an interest in bricks. And I was like, yeah. And the Paul Revere was kind of looking at me and kind of like everybody else, and then one of the other fellows I think must have known about what I said before, was kind of like looking at me and stuff, like the Paul Revere fellow told me. I think it was like a new gang. I remember the old other fellows there, and they were more of an inland sort of bunch. Anyway, not always. And then this was not uncommon because people had like little territories and stuff that they had when they would go and like mill around and stuff in different places and stuff. So it wasn't that strange. And then I started like, I got more self-conscious about it, and I was like kind of there with them and stuff, and I started like taking small stuff. I just couldn't help it. I just kept thinking, they're over there, and I got to get over there. And if I just kind of keep going like this, maybe I could slowly get over there, and they wouldn't like notice me kind of just gone. And I thought, well, you can't really do that. That's silly. But I was just like, I can't help except think, if I just go over there, see, the girls can call at any time, and then I want to be there with them, you see. And so no, not even that much. It was just these little incremental steps, like so. And it was just like, all right, what's going on here? I want to know what the fellow over here was like. I want to know what's going on here because he keeps kind of going in that direction. What's wrong with this fellow? I mean, what's going on here? And it was the Paul Revere fellow says that whole. It's like he kind of got everybody out of the way a little bit. And he was just like, he looked at me and he was just like, you want to go where the girls are and you want to wait for them. He's like, hold on, fellas, hold on. And you want to go wait for them rather than be here with us, and that's okay, because we're not really, you're not in the conversation that much and stuff. We're talking about stuff you don't really know that much about anyway. But it's just like, and you could become friends with us and stuff, but maybe like some other time. Right now, I mean, those girls could like leave at any time because they're on a ship, and you want to go over there just on the chance that they might want to, they'll have time for you or something like that. And it was just like, yeah, that's kind of like it. Yeah. And he was like, it's kind of like it. Okay. Why else are you going that? Okay. All right. I'm not going to worry about that. I think you want to go that because you're going in that direction. I was like, yes. And I was like, if we all told you can go that direction and go as fast as you really want to, would you like go there and then wait by that ship to see if the girls are going to come out and play with you? And I was just like, yeah, I could do that. And it was like, why don't you go ahead and do that? I was like, okay, I'm going to go do that. And he was like, you can go a little faster than that. And I was like, I know. Oh, okay. All right, I'll see you. Can I say goodbye to everybody? Goodbye, everybody. Hi, everybody. I mean, goodbye, everybody. All right, I'll see everybody kind of like later. And, we'll see each other some other time. And, we'll be there. And because this is how you said goodbye or something, you went like this. You had to be careful not to like look at people, so it wasn't so much of a threat. It was like you'd have like one hand out like that, I think, as I recall, and then you'd go, you'd kind of go like this, and this had to be like really limp, you had to kind of like that to show that you weren't like threatening or something. I guess it was sort of like shaking hands with everybody before you like leave. You kind of went, you did this. This was stiff, I think. No, it was like this, and then you went like, and you'd go like this, kind of like that. You didn't do it so much though. You just did like, all right, I'll see everybody. Yeah, all right. That's usually how you do it. Me, I kind of, all right, I'll see everybody. Bye, everybody. Bye, everybody. Because I would really want to be sincere about saying goodbye. So you do it a whole bunch of times. The Indian in me, you repeat things when you want to put emphasis on something. And So, and I was like, bye. He's like, will you just go and run over there and go see the girls? Why don't you run the whole way? You know, just to make sure that you don't, because otherwise it's going to take you forever. And those girls could call you at any second now. It's like, dang it, you know, you're right. I'm going to, bye everybody, just get out of here. Okay, I'm going to go. And then I'm like, and I ran over to them, and I waited, I think, all day. I think that may have been the day. There was two things that happened that may have happened. That was either the day I went over there, and like the Paul Revere day, the girls never showed up, or they couldn't do anything. I think just before I left, I called out in desperation. I think somebody heard me, and they went and got the girl, and she was like, "Gosh, I forgot you were even there." And that time, I don't remember. I think they were either not there, and I had to wait all day, and they weren't there, and that was it. Or they were there, and I think it was one of the days that, it could have even been the first day, although I'm not sure, where Mittilea, something like that, got down from the ship, and I think we walked a little bit on the south part of the harbor and stuff like that, and so, you know, it's like I said, I couldn't have her, you know, in my neighborhood and stuff. So anyway, we did a little bit of walking, and I think it was literally 5 minutes. I think we went down to the south part of the harbor, went around so, and she was just like, "That's it, I gotta go back." But she was just like, "That's really kind of nice that you waited so long." No, you didn't really wait that long, because you were because that's you know, this is we would do with time, and she was just like, "This is morning or afternoon or something like that," and you waited all this time. I was just like, "Yeah," and I really gotta pee too, and so she was like, "All right, do it over here on the dock or something like that." I was like, "Okay," because I needed someone to, you know, get my britches up, because I didn't know how to do that. You know, either that or I could pull them down, I think, or something. They would come undone, and I'd have to hold them and walk around like that, which was, you know, I was about the only person that could get away with that, which is the whole other story, especially with the Katie Seagal mom. Anyway, so that's what we did. I think we went peeing over the side, and then we went back to the ship. That was when she was laughing much of the time. We went around the corner, and we walked a few more steps, and she kept laughing more and more and more. And as we got towards where she would go up into the ship and stuff like that, she was just "This is really actually kind of funny." I think I was supposed to stop at some point though, and she would say goodbye to me from up on the ship. There was kind of an interesting magic where she could stop at some point, or me, wait for her, and then she would go up and around the ship, and then she would I had to wait for up on the edge that she would go over, I guess it would be a starboard board. It would be the north side of the ship, and she would say, "Okay, I'll see you." See, waving goodbye was sort of like that socially. I think with her it was sort of, you know, they would do sort of almost like an L-shaped thing. She'd kind of go like that, you know, "I'll see you." She was kind of weird anyway, so, you know, body-wise and stuff, so it was sort of maybe it was a thing she did personally. I think everybody else used to do things like this or something when we want to wave goodbye or something. She would kind of sort of hang over the edge. "Okay, I'll see ya." and she would get over the edge, but there was stomach like this, and she would, "I'll see ya, I'll see ya." I was like, "That's not much of a goodbye. I want another kind of goodbye." What is it that you do? You do this kind of thing, right? Is that it? Is that what you and the fellas do, and everybody else does here in this town? You know, they do it differently in other towns. I can't. I don't have time for this. You gotta let go. And I was like, "Oh, okay. I'll tell you about the different goodbyes later, and that'll be the goodbye for right now." And I was like, "Oh, okay." What if we said goodbye though? What would we say? We used to say au revoir and all that kind of stuff. That was more up on the ship when I'd be on one ship and she'd be on the other, and we'd call out to each other. And she would call out, I would call out Averdetchi as best I possibly could, and she would say au revoir. And then we would we would like meet, and she'd be like, okay, okay, you can get on the ship. I'll let you get on the ship. And I was like, hooray! And I'd be like on the other ship, and then we'd go over. I'd go over and stuff. I was like, I'm meeting you here where one ship goes into the next ship and stuff because you told me to. And she was like, I know, you were just right over there. And that's what I said. And then you're here. Okay, that's fine. Here we go. You know. So, anyway, let's see. How much time we got? Huh? So that's my girl. So doing the Faith Hill thing, and Kate Winslet and stuff. Gosh, people sure put her on and stuff. I was thinking of the Allen girl. I don't know though. There was 3 girls that I talk about a lot. I think there was a 4th one that came on like later, but I don't remember that much about her. She's blonde, I think. I don't know. A lot of them were because it was all very Swedish. I think Washir girls were about the only ones where the nationality didn't matter, and I think she was actually a Swedish one or something like it, like Norwegian or Finnish or something like that, or Danish. And it was like kind of unusual. In fact, there was kind of a thing where I think Swedish girls had like very little chance of becoming a washerwoman unless it was like a local thing, and they couldn't get any, like from Sweden to Poland or something. You know, I'm no kidding. I'm not that far, because it was like they didn't really. I don't know. I think a lot of the Swedish fellas didn't like the idea of, and they were all like in shipping. Shipping was like totally dominated by the Swedes. They didn't like the idea of like one of their own girls kind of like doing that kind of thing. There was something kind of about that. I think they said originally it was almost always like they got Swedish girls to do it and they didn't want any others, and then they started getting more. Sweden started getting a little more global thinking, and then they were kind of like, actually we kind of prefer girls that are not like one of our own or something. So they would get. Usually it was girls that were like not Swedish, and if they were even like Scandinavian, it was even kind of like, you know, they wouldn't do it if they couldn't help it. I think the idea was to go to like England and get yourself the washer girls, because there was like a whole bunch of them and they were desperate for work, and you could like kind of weed them out and see which ones worked and which ones didn't. You couldn't just get any girl for that kind of thing, you know. So. Oh, nice catch. That's actually the Paul Revere waiting for the girls. That's a little more than I like talked about. That's a lot. That's about double the amount of details I said before. So you're saying, when did he say this in Song and Story? Some of the stuff he didn't say, and it's just like, yeah, it's about half of. I've added more to the story. I just kind of said it really quick before, and then the other story I didn't talk about that much at all, because, you know, well, I did talk about it a little bit about the moving away towards, but just not as much detail. So. Well, I don't know.